Good morning, my dear students. Today we will study the 10th chapter, Bhakti and the Sufi Movement. In this chapter, we will discuss about the Bhakti Saints and the Sufi Saints. So let's start the chapter. The Bhakti Movement. The Bhakti movement emerged in South India during the 8th and the 9th century AD. Alwars and Nayanmars, or it is also called as Nayanmars, were two main groups of saints who were the main proponents of Bhakti cult. Alwars worshipped Lord Vishnu or his avatar, Lord Krishna. Nayanmars worshipped Lord Shiv. Bhakti saints emphasized on equality. According to them, all human beings have the right to directly worship God without indulging in complicated and expensive rituals. Now, let's discuss about Nayanmars and Alwars in detail. Nayanmars, they are the preachers of the Bhakti cult that arose in Deccan region, especially in Tamil Nadu in the 7th to 9th century. They preached devotion to God, whom they called Shiv or Maheshwar. Alwars, they were the earliest of the Vaishnava sect in Tamil Nadu. They flourished in the 7th and 8th century of the Christian era. Now we'll study about so many Bhakti saints. The main important saints are Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Vallabhacharya, Tulsidas, Jnaneshwar, Ramananda, Guru Nanak, Kabir, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, etc. So we'll discuss about some among them in detail. We'll start with Shankaracharya. He was one of the earliest Bhakti saint. He propagated the view that God and human beings are not different from one another but one. He preached the Advaita philosophy. He rejected rituals in the quest of question. He was a Bhakti saint who was slightly different from the other Bhakti saints. But his philosophy paved the way for Bhakti movement. In the 9th century AD, he propagated the view that God and human beings are same. They are same, or God is something what resides inside us. He preached that God resides in all of us and causes no shape, color, and qualities. He believed that knowledge is essential for attaining wisdom and comprehending God. Next one, Ramanuja. He was a great philosopher and taught Veda and a great proponent of Bhakti movement in the 11th century. He was a great philosopher. He was one of the greatest proponent of Bhakti movement. He believed in equality and also rejected caste system. He was the single most influential thinker of devotional Hinduism. Next one was Vallabhacharya. Vallabhacharya was one of the greatest saint of Bhakti movement in North India. He lived in the later half of 15th century. In order to attain knowledge, he travelled across India and finally settled down in Vrindavan and taught his bhakts joy of Krishna Bhakti through Ras Leela. Ras Leela is an act of worshipping Lord Krishna through dance and song. He did not pray in temple. However, his followers started worshipping God in Ras Leela style in temple. Surdas was the best known follower of Vallabhacharya. The next important Bhakti saint is Tulsidas. Tulsidas was a great Ram Bhakt. He was born in modern Uttar Pradesh and he lived in Kashi. And he spread his message by singing his poem for the ordinary people. He has written one of his greatest work on Rama's life, and it's very important learn that its name is Ramacharita. He has also written 11 other shorter compositions in Hindi language. Next one, Jnaneshwar. Jnaneshwar was one of the greatest Bhakti saint of Maharashtra. He was an extraordinary child and he was born in 1275 AD. He was known for his famous book Jnaneshwari. It is a contemporary of Bhagavad Gita. That means, it's a commentary which is written about Bhagavad Gita, and that means that it is something which is written about Bhagavad Gita, and it is in Marathi language, and he wrote his book when he was just 15 years old. Ramananda, He was the greatest follower of Shankaracharya and did not believe in caste system. According to him, this system divides the people and spread inequality. Due to this reason, he became very popular because during that time, caste system was very rigid. People hated that. So when he taught the people that caste system is something that makes inequality, he became a popular personality among the people, and he preached in Hindi language to his masses, and he was having so many disciples. Kabir, Ravidas, etc. were his disciples. Kabir. He was one of the greatest disciple of Ramananda. He lived during the reign of Sultan Sikandar Lodi. He played a great role in popularizing the Bhakti movement in India. He was abandoned as a baby by his parents and he was brought up by a Muslim weaver. He believed in oneness of God. According to him, Ram, Rahim, Hari, and Allah were different names of the same God. He emphasized on Hindu Muslim unity and universal brotherhood. He also was a great Bhakti saint who propagated inequality as a worse or a worst thing, and he also said that rituals during worshipping, superstitious beliefs, ideal worship, caste system, all these things were rejected by him. Next one, Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak followed Hinduism, Sikhism. He believed in worshipping one God and use of a term called Ek Omkar. Guru Granth Sahib contains the numerous verses composed by Guru Nanak and was also known as Adi Granth. He strongly opposed caste system, and he was a person who also believed the teachings of Kabir. And in order to remove the social differences, he started the practice of langar or a common kitchen where people from different classes of society could sit and eat together. So, like most of the Bhakti saints, he also rejected caste system and class divisions. Like Kabir, Ramananda, Jnaneshwar, most of these social, they are, we can call them as a type of social reformers because most of them were against this classifications and caste divisions. Next one was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. According to him, music was an essential mode of expressing bhakti. He popularized the Bhakti movement in Bengal and rejected caste system and made various efforts in ending the dominance of the priest. Mirabai. Mirabai was a Rajput princess who became a great devotee of Lord Krishna. She was a 16th century Hindu mystic poet. She lived a life of a wanderer by leaving her luxurious palace, spending her time in praising of Lord Krishna and discussing matters of philosophy with other bhaks. Numerous bhajans were composed by her, which expressed her love and devotion towards Lord Krishna. It is believed that her husband, Rana of Mewar, tried to kill her several times as he thought her behavior had brought disgrace to his family. She was a great follower of Lord Krishna. She was a staunch believer and a devotee of Lord Krishna. Now, Saint Tukaram. Tukaram composed devotional song in praise of Vithoba or Lord Krishna and preached equality of mankind. Namdev, he belonged to the Bhakti cult. His poems breathe a spirit of intense love and devotion to God. So these are the main preachers, we can call them as the teachers of Bhakti movement. They made so many reforms in the society and they taught the people in the common languages, so the people were much interested towards them. Now let's see Sufi movement. The Sufi movement was a socio-religious movement started in 14th to 16th century. Sufis belonged to an old religious sect from West Asia, especially Iran. The word Sufi is a Persian word which means coarse cloth. Sufi saints were named so after the kind of cloth or fabric worn by them. Sufis led a simple life and had simple beliefs involving meditation, love, and devotion to God. Sufis were organized into many orders or silsilas. Each of these was named after its founder. Chishti and Suravardi were two most important Sufi sects in India. Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria founded the Swaravardi sect in the 12th century in India. Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti was the greatest Sufi saint of Chishti Silsila. Teachings of Sufi saints had many similarities with the teachings of Bhakti saints. Sufi saints also believed in one supreme God. They also praised that God can be attained through love and devotion, respecting all religion, leading a simple life, free from greed and helping those in need are as important as devotion to God. The Sufis did not give importance to namaz and hajj, that's why they were misunderstood by orthodox Muslims. Now let's move to the last part of our chapter, that is impact on society. The Bhakti and Sufi movement brought in a new era in the history of religion which molded the thought and consciousness of people. The Bhakti and Sufi movement promoted concept of peace and unity in an age marked by innumerable wars. The compilation in the works of Bhakti and Sufi saints led to the growth of regional languages and literature as the saints preached in the local language. The Bhakti period saw an outburst of regional literature in the form of poem, songs, hymns, anecdotes, which the saints produced to preach to their followers in a language of their own. So that's all about the Bhakti and Sufi movement. You can read the textbook and you can find the answers which is given at the back side. Questions are given. Its notes will be uploaded soon. Thank you.